International
Muslim
Globetrotters. As you know, we've been traveling a lot together. Some of our friends asked us what are some helpful hints and tips and advice that we could give them for traveling as a couple. So in this video, we're gonna give you some of those little tips and advices that you could take with you. So when you want to travel as a couple, you could do it in a good way. Before we get started, we wanted to ask you guys to comment below with any questions that you might have about traveling as a couple, traveling in general, any questions that you might have so we can answer in the next upcoming video. So go ahead below, make sure you don't forget to subscribe and like our channel as well. Tip number 1 is to have good communication between your partner. I believe this is one of the most useful tools that you could have when you travel together, because there's going to be complications, and if you cannot communicate well with your partner, it's just going to break down.
Second thing is to compromise. I'm the first one who is having trouble to compromise sometimes, but you need to, of course, listen to your partner, listen to what he likes, what his interests are, and try to really find compromises on doing things that he likes and things that you like. So
if it was just up to me, it would be surfing all the time.
If it was just up to me, it would be 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. non-stop all day long. But he needs to rest and chill and eat, and you're the one who needs to eat morning, lunch, and night.
That's the next tip. Know when your partner might get crampy, so know what sets them off, things like that. And being able to understand your partner will help to prevent these type of things from happening, and so you don't have these huge arguments.
For example, when Kayvon is hungry, he doesn't even talk anymore. So you're like talking to a wall. He's just not talking anymore. He can't think anymore. He just needs to eat, and then you can talk to him again.
So
for me,
that's why she needs to always bring me some snacks.
Exactly. For me, it's when I'm tired. When I get too tired, then I can get a little crampy or a little too crazy. So he kind of knows when we need to like pause. Alright, so the next thing, of course, is to have a basic plan of your vacation. So first, deciding together on where you want to go and why, and how you're gonna move around the country or multiple countries in the basic way. So no need to book everything.
Yeah, you don't have to book everything and go into too much detail. The best things that happen while traveling are unplanned. And the last important tip before we get into what are the goods and bads is to don't stress. Things are gonna happen that are unplanned, and so when these things happen, don't stress about it. Just know, hey, this is life, or this is God's sign to you for you to take it a little bit slower or to do something. So it might be just a little test for you. So let's talk about the goods first. Some of the good things about traveling as a couple is that you get to learn about your partner more things than in your everyday life. You get to learn some of those intricate details that you'll never find out about your partner in other situations.
For sure, and you will definitely see how he reacts to every situation, right? You can test his limits, see how far he can go.
You don't want to do that, maybe.
See, I know, but when you travel, that's what happens, and it makes your relationships way stronger. Because before we left California for our 3-month backpacking trip in South America, lots of our friends and family were like, "Are you sure you're gonna travel together for 3 months? You're not gonna get tired of each other or what?" And for sure they said there is 2 things that might happen: or your relationship gets stronger, or you might just find different ways and split up, which
it might make or break the relationship.
Might not happen to any of you guys, of course.
But of course, it got stronger, alhamdulillah.
So, next thing, of course, is to be in the moment, to have someone to share it with, and this someone is your beloved one, is your best friend, your husband, your wife, and it's the best thing to do is really to live the moment and to be able to talk about it, to be able to take pictures together, to engrave these moments in your heart and your memories.
Yeah, you don't have to think about the past, you don't have to think about the future, you're just there together living, you know, the dream. Next tip is you get to share your great experiences.
Or bad.
So you get to share these great experiences with someone, which is always a great feeling. When you're out there alone, sometimes it it takes it away.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, sometimes you want to be with someone to be like, oh my god, did you see that? That was so
Expressing
awesome and great.
Yourself. And you can also, of course, cheer each other up in hard situations. Let's take, for example, the Machu Picchu when we did the 4 days trek, and we were barefoot or in flip-flops, and seriously, my feet were painful as hell, and I couldn't walk anymore, and Kevin was just cheering me up, and that felt really good. In the same way that when he was cold or when he was tired, it was good to be here and try to make him brave and keep on going. So it's good to like always be able to stay positive together.
Another good thing is that you get to develop patience. In Arabic it's called sabr. You're going to be tested with these trials and tribulations, and yeah, make that stronger.
Then of course it is personal development. You get to learn about yourself mainly, your partner as well, as we talked about it, but you notice a lot of things about you. You notice how you feel, what you like, what's your goal, what's your intention in life, how you want to make yourself better, what you need to work on, and all those things. And I think you only get this part when you travel.
The next thing is that you can bounce ideas off each other. So she might have some really great ideas that I didn't even think about, and so we could go on and do those things. So that's another tip, traveling in a group or with a partner or with somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. Then of course there is the idea of food testing. Yeah. The good thing about having a partner is you can steal his food in his plate, and you can try different things. You can order 2 different plates for sure, and try new tastes and new things from different countries.
Just as long as your partner isn't so stingy with their food. Next is, the next tip is that you have your personal photographer with you always. So this is a good thing because she needs her Instagram pics, and I became like a professional photographer now. I get all the angles and with the little rose on the side there, you know.
So coming now to the bad things about traveling together, or what could make it bad during your trip. So we're gonna try to give you what is it and to give you solutions to it. So the first thing, of course, which is I think the main thing when you travel with your partner, is the difference of opinions and interests. As you know, Kevin is a big time surfer. I do surf a little bit, but sometimes I get tired of it. So what we do is he goes and he surfs, and I can do my yoga on the beach, or I can read a book, or I can take some time for me, and that's my me time when he's surfing. So that's a good solution when you don't have the same opinions and interests. It's okay, we're 2 different people. Yes, we're a couple, doesn't mean that we have to like exactly the same things or do exactly the same things. So even if you have to take a few hours away from each other or a whole day because you really wanted to go in this day trip and your partner doesn't want to, that's okay. Then he'll do something on his own, you'll do something on your own. You meet at night and you tell each other the story of the whole day, and it's pretty cool too.
So that goes on to the second thing, is sometimes when you travel together you don't get enough personal space. So this is where that communication, the compromises come hand in hand, where you could communicate and say, you know what, I need some personal space. And a lot of people are afraid to do this with their partner, to talk about that, because they're afraid of offending them or
hurting their feelings. So it is really important to tell your partner what you really think, because he might be thinking exactly the same. And it would just open it up if you need space, or at least let him know, even if he doesn't. Sometimes you just, in a nice way, make him understand that you want to do something on your own, and he should do something on his own too for a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole day, it could be just a few hours.
But you don't want to be with me?
All the time.
The next bad thing about traveling together could be arguments. Now, this is going to happen between a couple.
Yeah, arguments does happen, and it is normal. I had a lot of friends asking me that, you guys never fight or whatever. Yes, we do fight a lot. We do argue a lot. I mean, about little things. But yes, we do, and especially when it gets really tense, when you're impatient, when you're hungry, when you're tired, or when there's things that are going wrong in your trip. The only person that is here with you, and that's sometimes what he doesn't understand, is he's the only one that I can get upset to, because he's the one with me. But it happens, and it's okay.
And use this opportunity to learn about your partner and see, okay, you know what? I need to now cheer them up because they're feeling down, and I need to make them feel better.
That's true.
So use it as an opportunity instead of a negative point. Don't just divorce her because of that.
And also learn about yourself and what you can improve. Typically, one of the biggest things that I discovered while traveling with my hubby is that I am a control freak when it gets to travel. At home, I'm not like that, but when we travel, horrible. It's my way or the freeway. And so I kind of had to like compromise and learn to like be patient with him and accept that he wanted to do different stuff and discover other things. So it's something that I'm still working on, and it's not easy.
And the last negative thing is something that we mentioned before, are unplanned hard situations that you might go through. And this is what we said before as the tip, is to not stress about it, learn from it, just know that, hey, this is life, it's going to kick you in the butt sometimes, and you're going to have to deal with it. Just find the best way to deal with it. So finally, the last tip I would give you guys is when you're there, looking at that beautiful sunset, don't forget to look your loved one in the eye and tell her how much she means to you and how much you love her and how much her eyes are more beautiful than this sunset right now.
Sure.
Alright guys.
Alright guys,
take
hopefully
care.
This video will help you guys to travel together.
If you have any questions, make sure you go ahead and leave your comments below so we can make a new video for you guys. Take care.
Bye. Peace.